He lost everything overnight, his position, his home, his status, and the life he had built gone, not by accident, not by chance, but by order. He was exiled, banished from Rome, sent away from everything familiar. His name was Musonius Rufus. And when it happened, he didn't complain, he didn't resist, he didn't ask why. Instead, he treated it like something else entirely, training. Now think about that. Most people, when they lose everything, call it tragedy, bad luck, unfair, something to recover from. But Musonius saw it differently. To him, nothing that happens is automatically good or bad. It only becomes that, based on how you use it. And exile was something he could use. Musonius lived in a time where power shifted quickly, where emperors made decisions without explanation, where people could rise and fall in a single moment. And when the order came, there was no negotiation, no appeal, only reality. Leave. Now. Most people in that situation would be overwhelmed, angry, afraid, thinking about what they lost, what they deserved, what should have been different. But Musonius focused on something else. What remains? That is the Stoic question. Always. Not what is gone, but what is still here. His knowledge, his discipline, his ability to think clearly. Those remained. And if those remained, then nothing essential was lost. That was his perspective. So instead of seeing exile as punishment, he reframed it. If life removes comfort, it is an opportunity to practice resilience. If life removes stability, it is an opportunity to practice adaptability. If life removes control, it is an opportunity to strengthen what cannot be taken, the mind. He arrived in a distant place, far from Rome, far from influence, far from recognition, a place most would see as isolation, as loss, as being forgotten. But Musonius didn't see it that way. He continued teaching, not in grand halls, not to powerful audiences, but to whoever was there, because philosophy, to him, was not tied to location, or status, or recognition. It was tied to action, how you live, every day, in any condition. That is where most people fail. They believe they can only be their best, under the right circumstances, when things are stable, when they are comfortable, when everything is going well. But Stoic thinking rejects that completely. Your character is not revealed when things are easy. It is revealed when they are not. And exile is where that is tested. There is a story that during his exile, Musonius was forced to do physical labour, hard labour, manual work, the kind of work people with status usually avoid, and yet he did it, without complaint, without resistance, because to him no work was beneath him, and no situation was wasted. While others would see humiliation, he saw development. While others would see loss of status, he saw removal of distraction. Because status is often a trap. It creates attachment, dependence, fear of losing it, but remove it, and something interesting happens. You are forced to confront yourself without identity, without titles, without external validation, just you. And that is uncomfortable for most people, but for Musonius, it was clarity, because now there was nothing left to rely on except what truly mattered. Your thoughts, your discipline, your ability to remain steady. And that is where strength is built, not in comfort, but in challenge. He often taught that hardship is not something to avoid, it is something to use, like training for the mind. Just like the body becomes stronger through resistance, the mind becomes stronger through difficulty, but only if you approach it correctly. If you resist it, you suffer. If you complain about it, you weaken. But if you accept it and use it, you grow. That was his philosophy. Not abstract, not theoretical, practical, applied. Every day, even in exile, especially in exile, years passed. Eventually, he was allowed to return to Rome. His exile ended, his status partially restored, but something important had already happened. He had proven something, not to others, but to himself, that his peace was not dependent on circumstance, that his identity was not tied to status, that his stability did not come from comfort. And that is rare. Most people believe they are strong until they are tested. Most people believe they are adaptable until something is taken from them. Most people believe they are in control until they are not. Musonius didn't wait for that realization. He trained for it. So when it came, he was ready. And that is the lesson. You cannot control what life removes. You cannot control what changes. You cannot control what is taken from you. But you can always control what you do with it, whether you see it as loss or as training, whether you resist it or use it, whether you break or adapt. Musonius chose to adapt. He chose to grow. He chose to see exile not as the end of something, but as the beginning of something else. And because of that, he never truly lost anything, because what mattered most was never touched. His mind, his perspective, his ability to remain steady, no matter where life placed him. And that is what made him unshakable.